Hi, it's me. I just wanted to finish answering a question that I had started answering kind of the other day. I finished answering it, but not enough. Not for me. Anyway, don't pay attention to him. He's playing Harry Potter Legacy right now. Just real quick here. Anybody else played that? That's really upset about the whole Tobbs thing. Wants to go after Seamus or same whatever his name is. Yeah, me too. Anyway, so this thing I wrote for you, I didn't get to fix it or anything, edit it, so just bear with me. Sorry. And also to answer your question as to why I look like this, I had to go to the doctor's today, and I actually got several compliments. It was really nice. But you know, it's like I was talking to the one technician, the radiologist, and I said, well, you know, if I'm going to go out, if this is my last hurrah, I'm going to go out with a bang. And she's like, well, that makes sense. Go out looking good. So, ta-da! Anyway, so I'll just go ahead and get on with this. Robin, hi. I should have probably said that at the beginning of the video. Oops. All right, so I was just thinking, Robin, that you and I need to talk about that machine. So I didn't actually get to finish talking about the machine. Just real quick here, you think of the brain as being like a machine. Something little goes wrong, and it could be an issue for the machine for a long time that really doesn't cause a whole lot of problems. There's little hiccups here and there in that machine because that little part going wrong causes other things to kind of, you know, not a big deal though. Little hiccups. Not noticeable for some. But sometimes that little hiccup over time becomes a bigger problem. And sometimes even that little hiccup can cause problems in other parts of the machine. So then they start messing up too. That's what I figured out when it comes to the brain and what's really going on. So a lot of times if you think of depression as being like one of those little hiccups type thing, something that's not making sense, and it's causing little issues. Okay. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he said that not now, please. And he said that, you know, he didn't have any big issues until he got older. I said, well, let's talk about when you were younger, things that were going on. He said, well, I sometimes got stuck on things, or sometimes I had this need like to always be better than everyone else and stuff. And I said, well, those are the little hiccups. So they're just little things, little things that we sometimes overlook, and they're actually just where the machine has come into an issue, a little hiccup in it, and it's over time going to get worse. But that's where it starts, is that little hiccup. So anyway, so so my functional brain spoke up and said, I will spare you all the ways that it speaks. But it believes it knows what the problem is already, for you in particular. Again, I could be wrong. We haven't really gotten to discuss a whole lot in depth, so who knows for sure. But we're going to play with it for now and see how it goes. I'm just going to be blunt. It's searching for your dad. I know. That sounds crazy. Hey, that's actually my next line. Sorry. Because your brain already knows Dad's not around anymore, so why would it be searching for it? Come on, T. Why would my brain search for something that's not there? But what if I told you that part of your brain knows that and part of your brain doesn't? Okay, so think of it like back when it happened. Little you asked the question, where's my dad? Now, for whatever reason, that question gets locked in your head. It's something that hurts and it doesn't make sense because you have... See the kids around dad. Because there are like other kids around you that they have their dads, so then why don't you? Right? Or some of them don't have their dads, but maybe they have... Well, you never... That's a side thing. I'm not going to worry about that. Anyway, so the fix. That's tricky. But one possibility is that your functional brain needs to see the truth. Remember, seeing is believing, and sometimes words from other people is just not enough. Sometimes you have to see the truth in order to believe it. How to make that possible, I'm not too sure on that one at the moment. You can refer to the end of the drowning leaf video when I talk about, you know, what did I do with my functional brain to see something, to believe it. You know, to believe, even though I never officially learned how to swim, that I do know how to swim. And that so I don't have to worry about drowning. That my brain was convinced I was going to do. It's crazy, isn't it? But, you know, I came up with some different possible ways of where I could be able to see as seeing as believing to get past that issue. Of course, it's probably going to be much different for you. Who knows? Like I said, we'd have to discuss it a little bit more in depth. But anyway, so one thing is you might seek therapy, an actual person to talk to face, because I'm not an actual therapist, so remember that, in order to try and help work you through it. Sometimes being able to just talk about something. Maybe the rest of the family doesn't talk about it so much. And so you being able to freely talk about your dad and how your dad's absence has affected you in life might really be helpful. And it can help us to... Hey, Benj, seriously, where's the remote? Benji, Benjamin! Please, would you hand me the remote or turn it down, please? Sorry. We like Confringo. Anyway, thank you. Appreciate it, bud. Just a couple more minutes, okay? Okay, so because years ago when this all happened, you were just expected to accept it and move on. You know, we do that a lot of times as adults. We look at kids and just expect them to just accept it and move on. That's what's happened. Now move on from it. And that happens for some kids and not for others. Just how it works. I could go into more specific details as to why, but it's more individually based. Now, people that live during those situations, they might even have information useful to you. It's understandable, of course, why, you know, they might not want to talk about it, like grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, even your mom herself. At least they might not want to talk about it as much. And because it hurts, plain and simple. It still hurts them. But when a person's brain knows that they're only being told part of a story, and the other person has more information, even though they might try to be... Hold on. I'm so sorry. My camera did not take very good... My Kindle camera did not take very good pictures of the phone. Person has more information, even though they might try to be respectful to that, you know, not bothering them about it, but they can't help but want to and need that information that the other person has. So, for example, you know, you don't want to bother grandpa or grandma because every time we mention dad, they kind of get sad. They might say a couple things, but then they kind of stop, you know, that kind of thing. It's understandable, of course, but at the same time, it might be what you need. And so, if I'm correct, and your brain is doing this stuff that it's been doing to you because it's searching for dad, then it's possible that they might have information that your brain can use to help settle that. Possible. One thing I'll say now, I would rather say it at the end, but I'll just say it now so I don't forget it because it's not written down, and that is that sometimes...
Look at this!
You know, sometimes the brain learns...
Look at this.
Yes, I see it. Benj, I told you I can't right now. Please. Sometimes the brain learns something and it doesn't just magically unlearn it. You know, like once it learns, we'll just say, once it learns how, you know, what anxiety is, what depression is, kind of thing, certain behaviors and stuff. Well, it's like riding a bike. You don't just forget how to ride a bike, right? Well, your brain doesn't always just forget things either. So even once you fix a problem, that doesn't mean it's going to change. Because remember, changing things, well, in order for you to get something to change, basically the functional side has to be able to say that makes sense. That change makes sense. And that's a little tricky. But we can go into that in another video. Anyway, so anyway, your brain is searching because of the wait a minute because of the respect to those other people involved. The brain can't say this out loud, and so it then begins searching internally, which then brings out your magnifying glass, aka that hiccup in the brain, that makes you overthink, overcare, overworry. Makes you do things that you'll do them, and then later you'll think, I kind of knew better. I knew I shouldn't have done that, and I wouldn't have. So what made me do that anyway? What was the driving force behind that? Well, these are the things that can be happening because of this hiccup thing that we were talking about. These are the hiccups. So more often you'll see the magnifying glass starts getting used a little more often as time goes by. More and more you start over focusing, over caring, over getting yourself involved in other people's situations. You know, so and so had such and such happen to them, and oh my gosh, and you're getting all upset, and as if it's happened to you. No, it happened to them. So it's like you take on someone else's problem and make it your own, kind of thing. That's a hiccup. It's a side effect, or whatever you want to call it, of something happening. And so anyway, as time goes by, the hiccup turns into it more and more often. Magnifying glass more and more often gets used. This imbalance then causes the brain to make decisions that it normally would not. Because at the time, those decisions make sense. You know, at the time, it makes sense to, I'm trying to think of a quick example, but, you know, those times in life where we're like, yeah, that's what I should do. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we do it, and then later we're thinking, no, it really didn't. It never did. And I knew that. So what was wrong with me? Why was I thinking that way? Right, well, that's what happens. So ultimately those decisions never would have made sense, which then causes more new hiccups in the brain sometimes. Yes, you know, so when you're already got this imbalance going on, one moment, please, hang on. You already got this imbalance going on, and this hiccup in this machine, like I said, sometimes then causes other parts of the machine to start messing up as well. So you got to think of it kind of like that. So when you do some kind of over caring or over involvement or whatever you want to call it, whatever that hiccup is for you, it can end up causing you to do it in other ways that you weren't before. Anyway, I'm trying not to confuse you. I know this stuff kind of sounds confusing. The need for the brain to make sense of things, it gets so overwhelmed that now it's just searching for answers everywhere. So remember the one video where we talked about, and God said, Robin, this is very similar to what you're going through. And in all honesty, it's very similar to what a lot of people in the world are going through, because this is what happens. This is one of the side effects. Nobody knows this except for me, apparently, because I'm the only one who can see it. So I'm either a genius or nuts. Pick your poison there. Anyway. But I mean, it's like if you go to that website that we go to and you look at the people talking, you can sometimes see people that are like so over-focused on what somebody else is saying. They're getting so over-involved. And even like when people try to talk them through something, you know, you'll see someone and they'll be like, I'm so depressed, I'm so la 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 la, and people will be like, well, what's going on? Well, let's talk about it. What's up? You know, and they'll say something, and someone will say, well, maybe it's time that you talk to your parents about that. And they'll say, nobody listened, and they just don't. They go right over the top of what someone has said to them, like as if nothing was ever said to them, and people will try to point out to them, like, we're trying to help you, but you don't seem to be listening to what we're saying. And I sit there and watch those chat rooms go by, and I think, oh my gosh. But I know why. I know why they're just going right over the top of the information, and they just keep this blinders on, like, only what they make sense to them is the only thing in the world that could possibly make sense. Sorry. It's just, it's one of those things. Anyway. But you'll see it all the time, is the point. When you go to those chat rooms, you'll see it all the time where people will get so over caring, or over, you'll see people that are well, why did you say that? What makes you think that you have the right to say that? And it's like, whoa, slow down. Somebody said this is just my opinion, and I'm just sharing it. But da 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 da, and then somebody else attacks them for it. It's like, whoa, they said it was their opinion. Calm down. But they can't. Brain just has to. Ugh. And it's almost as if the strength, the power behind these people's anxiety. It's almost as if as if God said, that was the point of using that, as if God said, I'm going to give you the answer, but I'm not going to tell you when or how or where or who it's going to come. Nothing. Just be waiting. Just be watching. So now you are examining with that little magnifying glass every little thing that happens around you. You're so over-focused, so over-consumed, either over-caring or over-focusing, whatever you would call it. You're so over that you... How do I put this? It's like squinting. You're not supposed to squint all the time. You have the ability to squint to help you to focus in on something a little bit more. But you're supposed to do it and then stop. Could you imagine what it's like to be squinting all the time? All the time. The headaches. The problems that you're causing in your eyes. Well, that is what your brain is doing. When it's searching, when it's over focusing like that. It's like squinting all the time. Not a good thing. Anyway. So, as I was saying, and because the brain is not supposed to work like this, that whole squinting thing all the time, on a regular time basis, what starts out as a positive over time can become a negative. So the idea is like it's a positive, being able to focus, being able to over focus even. Because every once in a while we do need to be able to not just see something but really see something, right? Every once in a while, we need to be able to overfocus, to overcare, to, whatever. We need the ability to be able to do that. But that doesn't mean that we should be continuously all the time doing it. So, meaning you're not just examining and noticing every little thing, you're now pointing them out and being negative about them. So, which is why, again, like you'll see in the chat room, there's people out there that point out other people's flaws. There's other people, and they do so like in a, hey, I just want you to know, in case you're not aware that your caps are, they're what do you call that? Obnoxious, mean, whatever they call that, triggering, I don't know. Using all caps or whatever, or the way that you're talking is a little triggering. I just, just letting you know. Whereas other people will attack.
Look at me.
They won't just say, hey, I don't care for that. They will attack this other person for simply sharing their opinion. See it? Maybe. Anyway, meaning you're not just examining and noticing every little thing, you're now pointing them out and becoming negative about them. Oh, I said that right. And even and especially when they have nothing to do with you, toddler. I don't know. Voice to text all the time. They have nothing to do with you. Yeah, there we go. It's not your business, but somehow you make it your business. Like a busybody. Okay. List to be included up above. Oops. Sorry. My bad. Like the kid with the question and the parent that doesn't know the question and doesn't know a question. Doesn't know a question? Doesn't know doesn't know the answer. It doesn't know what's bothering the child. Doesn't know there's a question. It just knows that there's a need of some sort, When you look at your child and they're just crying and you're like, what's wrong? What do you need? What do you need? Like, they can't tell you. And so then you just have to kind of do this guesswork and stuff. And so, something like a parent. We go to the ends of the earth in order to make when our child needs something, even if it makes us a little crazy. So this child who has, often it happens, can't communicate their real problem, sorry. So just like that child, we all have our parent side to our brain and our child side to our brain type of thinking, right? Well, the parent, let's see, I'm making sure. Sometimes I do go off topic. I apologize. Or not off topic, but a different branch of it. Has got this parent side of the brain going nuts, searching for what the parent has no clue. It knows it needs to search. Maybe I didn't need to add that. Oh, well, whatever. Sorry. I could probably explain that better at another time. Oh, it's 20 minutes in. Yeah, I definitely need to explain it better at another time. Sorry. I'm still on a little bit of a high from earlier anyway, so it's nice. People were complimenting me. Oh, you look good. Oh, thank you. I even had people look up to me like, are you from Texas? Howdy. And I'm like, because I have my boots on too. I have my boots and my hat on, and they're like, oh, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just, ta-da. Of course, the cat laid on my hat. And you can tell, but oh well. So anyway, okay. La. I'm also excited because I'm getting closer to finding the spider story. I found some of the other parts of it. I don't know if I want to share them or not, because they kind of reveal some information that I'm not sure if I want to reveal. Oh well, who knows? I'll probably share it anyway. Just because, hey, what YOLO, right? Or we're not allowed to say that anymore. I don't know. Anyway. I'm just gonna go on now. So just like the parent, just like a parent will search in any way they have to make their child happy when the child has a need. You know, if your child has some kind of a medical condition, we don't just say, oh, too bad, Timmy will never be able to eat or see or whatever. No, we go to the doctors. We say, what can we do? We got to find an answer. I got to do whatever needs to be done to fix this. I don't know what it is, but we need to find out what it is, and we need to fix it, whatever we got to do. So, you know, a lot of times you'll see parents, when the doctors don't have an answer for them, they'll start searching online. They'll start reading those books. They'll start going to the library and looking up all kinds of past medical issues that people have faced before, and, you know, so they can see if they can find something, some kind of an explanation for why Timmy can't eat or sleep or see. What is it I don't know. Whatever medical situation's going on with little Timmy, our little imaginary boy. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, they'll search anywhere, all the time, awake, asleep, dreaming, driving, reading, watching TV, exercising, having personal relations, eating, etc. Which is, again, like I said, living anxiety out loud. And I've seen parents do that, where they eat, awake, sleep. They're just, I gotta find an answer for my kid. Well, your brain is the same way. It's gotta find an answer for you, and it's gonna go wherever it has to in order to do it. Even if it's not the right path, it's still gotta go down it. So even if worrying about somebody at work, having that magnifying glass out on them to either be over-caring or over-examining or whatever you want to call it, it's got to go that way, because it's got to find an answer. Because what if, and God said Robin, I'm not going to tell you when, where, or how, or who is going to give you that answer. So what if it's that person at work? So you got to get over involved in what's going on with them. You got to get over focused. Just my thoughts, as always. Anyway, I'll see you later.